Alright, hello. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple gear train using OnShape. So we're going to open up, we're going to create a new document, and we're going to call that Vex Simple Gear Train. So in a previous video I showed you how to load all of the Vex parts. We're going to go to Assembly, and I'm going to hit Insert, and I'm going to go to those Vex parts. And the first thing I'm going to load here is structure. I want to have something to attach them to, so I'm going to load a base plate. If this were customizable, it would give me options down here. It is not, so I'm just going to click in here, add a base plate. I'm going to go back, grab a couple gears. Let's put a 12-tooth gear in. Let's come down here, grab a 36-tooth gear, and let's grab a 48-tooth gear. And it's thinking about that one. It's not quite sure. Here we go. Oh, that's a high strength. I don't want the high strength. So we're going to click on that down here, and we are going to go lower, lower, lower. I will go 60-tooth. We don't have a 48 that's not high strength. All right, and we're going to click here. We are done. We're going to get rid of this one. All right, so I have all my pieces parts in here. These are all movable right now. I want the base plate to be locked, so I'm going to right click on it and hit Fix. That locks my base plate in place, and I can start to add these gears, and we're going to put them on so that we can actually turn them and we can see how one gear relates to the other gear. So we're going to zoom in here on this gear, and I'm going to do a revolute mate. I'm going to click on this gear, and notice when I zoom in here, if I click there and try to get to the center, it disappears on me. So I'm going to hold here, hit shift, and then I'm going to come inside and click on the center of that gear. Come down here, do the same thing to my base plate, zoom in, hold shift, click on the center, and there it is. However, if you notice, it's on the bottom of that base plate. So if I click here, I can switch that relationship and pull that up top. And there we go. We now have a 36-tooth gear attached to our base plate. I can move that, I can rotate that, and everything is good. So now I want to get my 12-tooth gear inside there. However, the 12-tooth gear is not the same orientation as this. 12-tooth is pretty simple. I'm going to attach it to this hole right here, but I want to rotate that and just make sure that I'm attaching to the right one. So I'm going to click on that gear, get out of all those commands, click on the gear. It gives me this item here that I can scroll with. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to start to rotate that. I'm going to stop and just type in 90 to make sure I get it at a perfect 90 degrees so it matches the other gear. Now ultimately what I want to do is click on the bottom of that gear and get that attached to it, and then I don't have to flip it when I do it. So we're going to try it on this one. Do a revolute command. We can get in here, hold the shift, click on that portion, scroll my base plate back around, and I'm using a 3D mouse to roll my base plate around, which makes it very simple to play with and manipulate. And I want to attach that right to that hole right there. Hit shift and click. And there we go. We have the two gears connected. Now there's no relationship between them, so I can spin them independently, but they do not spin each other. So OnShape has this little box for this little icon right here called Gear Relation. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose the two revolute commands that I want to add a relationship to. Now it's asking me for the gear ratio. So I can put this in. We're going to do this backwards. I'm going to put it in at 3. That's the actual gear ratio we're going to use here. I'm going to click OK. And then now notice when I click one, they both move. I'm going to look at the top command and zoom in on that. So they do move simultaneously, and the gears are kind of meshing and working, but they're a little bit offset from each other. So what I want to do is two things. First of all, if they were spinning improperly, I can click on this gear and I can reverse that direction. and then they would spin the proper direction. Ours was working, so we're going to unreverse that. But the other thing I want to do is I want this to actually mesh a little better. So if I hit Revolute and double click on one of those mates and hit the move, I can change my rotation angle. And you kind of got to play with this to find one that works for you. I'm going to go -5, tab. That's a little too much. Go -2, tab. We're getting closer. -1, tab. Yeah, it's not too bad there. So we'll click OK. Accept it. And now when I move this, they move a little bit better together. There's still a little bit of odd connection there, but we'll live with that for now. So I got one more gear to connect up here. I want to get my 48 tooth gear on there. So again, if I manipulate this, my orientation is incorrect on that gear. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to start to rotate this, put it at 90. We're good. I'm going to go to the top view. And where do we want to place this? It looks like we kind of want this on that hole right there. So we want this to be in this hole right here. So I'm going to do my Revolute command, zoom in on this gear, and get my controls figured out. Shift, select, Shift, select, and again, because we chose the top of it and rotated there, we are upside down. So I'm going to click to switch that, and we're good. However, we still have to mate this, so we have to put the gear relationship in. We have this one, we don't have this one yet. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to do gear relation, and I'm going to go Revolute 2, which is that gear, and as I hover over it, you can see that it highlights the middle of that. So I'm going to do Revolute 2 and Revolute 3. And my gear ratio on this one, that's a 12 tooth and a 60 tooth. So that is going to be 0.2. Hit OK. And we spin one. And now we are spinning the proper direction. But again, we're off a little bit on our location. So I'm going to double click my Revolute 3. No, I'm not. I apologize. I'm going to expand that, and I'm going to double click my mate and do move. And I want to change this by, let's see what 5 degrees does. Oh, that's almost perfect. We're going to leave it like that. And now when I click here, I can see that those gears move, and we have a nice gear relationship. I spin one, and they go. So I hope that helps. You can continue with this. You can add more. In another video, I will show how to make a compound gear train as well. Thank you.